In an interview, Michael Chandler said Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, Charles Oliveira, Tony Ferguson, all those guys are much easier matchups than the guy he just fought. He also thinks he will knock out these guys in the first or second round and capture the UFC gold.
Had to. I mean, that was a fight where, I mean, you talk about names like right now the rankings, or before this, the rankings were Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, Charles Oliveira, Tony Ferguson. All those guys are much easier matchups than the guy that I just fought, I believe. Even I
think everyone else believed that too.
100%.
I was texting with Schaub, and he was like, anybody inside the top 5, I would have felt better at him. Anybody inside the top 5 versus Dan Hooker.
Everybody said no.
Really?
Dan Hooker was the only guy that said
Everyone
yes.
was like, no chance.
He said they threw him in. They threw him into a fire. That's what he was saying.
How that works out. The one person you don't want to fight,
Yep.
other people you'd rather fight said no.
I'll tell you what, now, honestly, and this is no knock against the other guys, but and I could very well lose to any of those guys. I get it. You know,
no insurance policies here.
No, exactly.
Well, we heard you on the
doing.
But yeah, hang on. No, listen. I was gonna say, keep the same energy you had on the mic post fight. You're calling everybody out.
But I'm talking about no losing. No,
beat me if you can.
Let's fucking go.
I was prefacing it because I was saying I feel like I already beat the guy who was the toughest matchup for me. Mm-hmm. So now I have now y'all really effed up because now I got even more confidence stepping into that. Like, I will knock out Dustin Poirier. I will knock out Justin Gaethje. Charles Oliveira, I will knock out Charles Oliveira. I will knock out any of these guys in the first or second round, and I will capture UFC gold, probably either my next fight or the fight after. And then I'm going to come back on the bus, and we're going to bring the belt on the bus.
Hell yeah, we're doing it. That's what we're doing.
Dude, I love the big dick energy, bro.
Nashville.
What about Khabib? You knock his ass out?
Who? Oh, Khabib? Khabib, I don't know if Khabib's ever coming back. But yes, I do think so. And no,
I thought he was coming back. I thought recently he's talked about coming back.
He did, and he said if he saw something spectacular, but he didn't see something spectacular enough, I guess.
Well, that sounds like a bit of a cop out because it's like
just
it's in your like you can.
He's playing the game
against the hardest fighter you had to fight, and that wasn't spectacular to him.
Khabib's being interested. He's playing the game. He's setting up his next move.
100%.
I mean, the thing about Khabib
he's
is
tactical too.
Yeah.
And he's that calm that you look at when he was fighting.
He's the Russian type shit.
Yeah,
he's the Russian type shit, but that's like calm as chaos.
Right.
You can see he's there, and when he speaks, the words weigh more.
Yeah.
Because he fucking he doesn't talk very often.
Because he chirped McGregor after his fight, I believe.
Yeah, well, everyone chirped him after
saying
his fight.
you change all these people, you change your environment.
They said a bunch of yes men around him.
I hate that though, man. Like, because I mean, obviously, I'm just a little bit just fed up with the Khabib thing at this point. It's like, bounce out if you want to bounce out, but don't be kind of lukewarm. Don't be.
That's
I might come back, I might not. But I will say,
well, he knows he's the champ. He knows he's undefeated
for sure. But in his defense, I think Dana also wanted to keep that dream alive. Which rightfully so, he should. I think he cares about Khabib. I think he cares about his promotion. I think Khabib being in the promotion is in the best interest of all parties involved. But
Dana cares about the dollar signs
for sure.
Dana, he's the guy.
Khabib's a draw.
Oh yeah,
he's a huge draw. He's what it is. You are becoming that draw. You became that draw the minute you had that.
Yeah.
You win another one. You go do what you just said here and knock one of those guys out. You just said.
And the belt is actually on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're that guy.
Yeah. Well,
but belts on the bus or not, you do what you have to do for you.
Yeah.
It's over. Like you run your play. You start saying yes and no to fights.
Stephen Thompson wants to fight Kamaru Usman next.
So after Usman wins, he does something champions don't normally do. He has a name in mind. He calls out Jorge Masvidal, and of course they met in July. Usman got the win, defended his title. It was a short notice fight, and you were on the show talking about how you were a Masvidal fan heading into that fight because old Gamebred, the old BMF champ, called out, said the NMF champion, if I win the belt, I want to run it back with that guy. So as you're watching the end of UFC 258, Usman retains the title and he calls out Masvidal. What were you thinking?
I was like, okay, for one, I was like, the guy, his last fight was you. Masvidal's last fight, I believe, was Kamaru Usman, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So it just doesn't make sense for the guy to fight him again. He clearly lost. That was short notice. But I just think that Kamaru Usman knows. I mean, it's smart. It's smart for him. He knows he can beat him, and for a high pay, and it's a big name. There is beef there, so it makes sense on his part. But as a fan, and as a fighter, and as somebody who's been at the top of the game and tried to get title fights, it doesn't make sense for the UFC to make that. As a fan, it doesn't make sense for that to happen. fight somebody you haven't fought yet. You beat pretty much everybody except for one, me in the top 5. That's it. Of course, you got Michael Chiesa, who's ranked number 6. He haven't fought Michael Chiesa either. But, man, keep on going down the line. Go down the line. You beat everybody up here. Who's next? There's this guy. So, I think a bigger fight would be, I don't know, man, would be like George Masvidal, Leon Edwards. I think Masvidal has beef with everybody at this point, except for me. But that would be a big card too, a big fight. Him and Leon Edwards. We just saw that fight happen with him in Usman, so it doesn't make sense for it to happen again. Not even Colby Covington. Who was his last fight? Was it Usman?
It was Woodley.
It was Woodley. That's right. That's right. It was Woodley. I think Woodley's got a fight against Vicente Luque, who I fought a year ago. So, man, all these guys got fights except for me, man. So hopefully I'm trying to get that title fight. Like, come on, Usman. Come on, man. Fight somebody you hadn't fought yet.
This sport, I mean, I actually, coming out of that event, I mean, obviously Usman was the big winner. Julian Marquez, trying to get the date with Miley was a big winner, and then Anthony Hernandez was a big winner. But I thought Masvidal was a big winner coming out of that. I thought you were a big winner coming out of that. I thought Colby Covington was probably the biggest loser coming out of that event because he was supposed to fight Masvidal. It was all like right there, and all that's kind of taken away. And this sport is a very interesting world, as you've seen throughout your career. While things seem so simple on paper, there's more than meets the eye behind the scenes. And it seemed as if all signs were pointing towards this Usman-Masvidal thing taking off right away. They were talking about maybe the summer, possibly coaching the Ultimate Fighter. And then last week, we see Usman come out and say, I'm not feeling generous anymore. Anybody can get it. So as the one guy in the top 5, Steven, who hasn't fought Kamaru Usman, that tweet must have been like music to, like, I guess, your eyes, was it not?
It was music to everything because I was saying it out loud. I was reading that tweet out loud to my eyes, my ears, everything. It was super cool to actually see Usman say that anybody can get it. So that leads me to believe that I have a possibility to make this thing happen. So doing interviews like you, staying active on social media can definitely possibly help get the fans behind it because at this point, if the fans love it, the UFC, kind of gets behind it. So as of right now, I'm seeing a lot of people saying that I should be fighting for the title shot. I should be facing Usman at this point. But you never know, man. So I'm staying in shape. I'm working out. Got to get this hand looked at, obviously. And, hopefully we can make this thing happen. I think it would be an awesome fight. And Usman even said it. I think his toughest fight would be somebody like me with just to hard prepare for, a difficult read. One of the, I'm the third best in the division with takedown defense. So I think it would just be a fun fight. I like it because I think it would be a fun fight. Number one, obviously fighting for the title again, but two, I like Usman. I think he's a great guy, good champion, and really, and it's just the time to really test my abilities against somebody at that level who is the best.
Even it was funny, like even after the event when we did like our live stream, the post fight coverage, I mean, tons of comments. Usman versus Wonderboy. So you're seeing the support. That's got to make you feel pretty damn good right now, does it not?
Oh yeah, 100%, man. It all puts smiles on my face. Like my dad's reading everything. Obviously, he's reading every interview out there. Every tweet, he's looking back at my picture. It's like, everybody wants it. They want to see you fight, man. Let's make it happen. Let's go. And he's like, my dad's an old school guy. You need to get on there and you need to call him out. You gotta be a little bit more aggressive, Wonder Boy. I'm like, Dad, I'm not that way. Like, chill, chill. But it's good, man. I know that he's excited. I'm excited just in the fact that, there's still a possibility that I could go out there and fight for the title, and fans are wanting to see it. People know that I can give them a hard time. Anybody in my weight class a hard time. There's a lot of people out there not calling my name. They're not talking about me, not wanting to, face me. There hasn't been a whole lot of talk about me at this point, even though I'm ranked number 5 to those guys, because they know I'm a threat. They know I'm a threat.